Hey guys, in today's math, we're going to be expanding some of your division skills. And I know some of you guys are a little nervous about division. You think it's pretty hard, but really it's not once you understand what you're doing and how to do it. So we're going to start by looking at some of the division you've already been doing. We've got these numbers that end in zeros, right? You've handled these. It's pretty simple. You've got 5 into 25. So we go onto your number chart. You go down the 5's column. You find 25, you go across, and it tells you that 5 goes into 25 5 times. Okay, yeah, this is pretty familiar. You've done this before, right? Notice that I put that 5 over the 5 of 25. Okay, I didn't put it here over the 2. If I put it over the 2, that would be like saying that 5 went into 2 5 times, which it obviously can't. You can't even fit a single 5 into 2. Excuse me. So instead, it's 25 that it goes into 5 times. So it's important that these are lined up because this number 25 ends here, so its answer goes right above it. 5 times 25 is, or I'm sorry, let me say that again. 5 times 5 is 25, right? So technically we would normally write 25 below it to show that these two numbers give us that. We would subtract and we'd wind up with 0. Okay? Now we're not done because we still have other numbers over here. So we have to keep asking ourselves, 5 into 0 how many times? Okay? Really in division you normally bring that number down. You kind of try to keep things here at the bottom. 5 into zeros how many times? Well, can't go into 0. Alright, so it goes in there 0 times. 0, 5 times 0 is zeros. That's a 0. You subtract them, and we get 0, right? Still nothing, all zeros. Then we bring down our last number here. And I like to make these arrows because it shows that I've used the number. Okay, 5 into zeros, again, it can't go in there. It's 0 times. 5 times 0 gives us zeros. And now we've got something over all the numbers, right? There's no number left out over here. So this tells me that 5 goes into 2,500 500 times. Okay? All right. Let's kind of look down at this next one here. This next one, again, it's an example we've already kind of worked on. We look at it, 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 times 1 is 3. You subtract them, and you have 0. You bring down your next number. 3 goes into 0 how many times? 0 times. 0 times 3 is 0. You subtract them. Bring down your next number. 3 goes into 0 how many times? You guessed it, 0 times. Okay. Finally, 3 times 0 is 0. Subtract it, 0. And then we bring down our last number. 3 into 0 how many times? 0 times. So this tells us that 3 times 1,000 gives us 3,000, which makes sense, right? 3 1,000s would be 3,000. Now we're going to get into something a little new. All right? All right, so 6 goes into 24 how many times? Well, if we look on our chart, again, we go down the 6's, we find 24, we go across. If we go on our chart that way, it shows us that 6 times 4 is 24. So again, 6 times 4, that's 24. We subtract them, we end up with 0. We're all done with these. But we got to bring the 6 down. Okay? Again, I want to point out that I put that 4 over this 4. Okay? I didn't put it over the 2. You don't want to do that. You want to put it over the end of the number you're working on, which is 24. Bring the 6 down. 6 goes into 6 one time. Again, you can find that by going down your rows of 6 till you come to 6 and then across on your multiplication table, and it shows it goes in there one time. 6 times 1 is 6. You subtract them, and you're all done. There's nothing left and no numbers over here. So that tells me 6 goes into 246 41 times. All right, let's look at a few more of these new problems where you have things other than zeros that you're dividing. Let's let's look at this problem here. You've got 4 into 28 how many times? Well, it goes into the 28. If you look on your multiplication chart, you go down the 4, so you get to 28. You go across, it shows that it goes in there 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, we subtract. 28 minus 28 is 0. Bring down your 3. Okay, that's supposed to be an arrow. Sorry, it's hard to look at the camera and get it right. Here we go. So that's supposed to be a 3. 4 goes into 3 how many times? Well, it doesn't. If you look down your 4s, it never has a 3 on there. So it goes in there 0 times. 0 times 4 is 0. You subtract, you get 3. You bring down your next number. Now we got 32. How many times does 4 go into 32? You go down your 4s, you find 32. You go across. 4 goes into 32 8 times. 4 times 8 is 32. You subtract, you got nothing left. There's no other numbers. We are done with that problem. 4 goes into 2,832 708 times. Another way of saying that is 708 times 4 gives us 2,832. All right, now let's look at a really big one. It's the same process. It's not that scary. 7 goes into 49. If we look on our chart, go down to 7, find the 49, go across. Goes in there 7 times. 7 times 7 is 49. We subtract, we get 0. Okay, bring down our next number. 7 goes into 7 how many times? Well, it goes in there once. 1 times 7 is 7. We subtract, we get 0. Bring down our 1. 7 goes into 1. Whoa! 1's way too small. 7 can't go in there. Goes in there 0 times. 0 times 7 is 0. We subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. And then every time we're done subtracting, we bring down the next number. Please draw these arrows in as you do this. This helps you remember that you've used the numbers. Okay, so I've drawn my arrow to show that the 4 is now down there. 7 goes into 14. Well, we go down our 7s, we find 14, we go across. It shows that it goes in there 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14. We subtract. We got nothing left, no other numbers. 49,714. Still got it wrong. I'm going to try it one more time. 49,714 divided by 7 is 7,102. Again, another way of looking at that is 7,102 times 7 gives us 49,714. If you need help with some of these problems on today's assignment, feel free to ask for a Zoom meeting and we can work you through them. Good luck.